prove a conspiracy? You need to see people's phones. We live in the 21st century. That's how conspiracies are conducted.
You have any clue what's on my phone that they took?
Everybody knows a message with Karen Reed on Signal, right? And ours auto delete after 4 hours, right? She set it up that way. I didn't set it up.
How do you prove a conspiracy? You need to see people's phones. We live in the 21st century.
Do you feel like you're an advocate for the defense?
No, sir. That is my best guess. I don't recall from a year ago.
When I ask you to guess, I'm asking for your testimony. Did you ever delete texts?
From last year?
Yes.
Yes.
That's how conspiracies are conducted.
Do you feel like you're an advocate for the defense?
No, sir. That is my best guess. I don't recall from a year ago.
When I ask you to guess, I'm asking for your testimony. Did you ever delete texts?
From last year?
Yes.
Yes.
We are trying to affect the jury pool. We are. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm...
Everybody knows a message with Karen Reed on Signal, right? And ours auto delete after 4 hours, right? She set it up that way. I didn't set it up.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi guys. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am good. It's been a long week. How about your week?
It's been a really long week.
Yeah, they seem to be long. So yeah, we're here on a Thursday night instead of a Saturday.
Yeah. Got a lot to talk about.
Yeah. So what we have for you guys is after our show Saturday, we were talking as a group, and we noticed something interesting about that Sunday. And then we were able to recover some messages from Karen. You may have seen them on Twitter. You'll see them tonight. And we want to show you guys exactly what Karen Reed was up to that weekend. The interesting thing about this particular weekend is Karen was the aggressor. So what we've seen in the past is really it's just Aiden. It's Aiden Carney, and he's doing all these things. This weekend in particular, we have proof that Karen was the driving force. So what we have for you first is a video. You're going to see a couple clips of Aiden Carney, and then you're going to see Karen. And we'll talk a little bit about that after it plays.
What happened the entire time? Well, quite frankly, like a lot of the time, it was just rather controlling. And like, why aren't you talking more about this? Why aren't you posting this? You're like, oh, don't post this. Don't take that post down. Why is the Justice Group not allowing this to stay up? I had a whole fucking war with Sean of the Gulf over like her wanting me to keep up comments about the federal grand jury investigation in the Justice Group. Like I went to war with Sean over fucking her. You know what I mean? I did all this shit. And like my role in this was to raise money to create the infrastructure that raised $1.1 million for her legal defense fund to build public morale and public support for Karen Reed, which emotionally helps out a lot, I would assume, right? And to make sure the eyes of the world didn't stop watching about this and raise awareness. That's the role I played in this. And I think I did it well. So that's me. Karen Reed would tell me stuff on the record that I published or off the record that I would not publish. They called that conspiracy to commit witness intimidation, which was just silly now, isn't it? There's never going to be any more indictments of Karen Reed.
It's impossible for me to have any sympathy for any of these witnesses. Definitionally, is it harassing witnesses? Yes, they're witnesses against me in my prosecution. And is he yelling things at them? And is he going up to their front doors, ringing the bell? Yes. But they shouldn't be witnesses. They should have been suspects. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So did you hear what he said? He didn't say anything about journalism. His role was to raise money, which he did, and activism and advocacy and making sure this stayed in the public spotlight. He was not doing journalism, as he likes to say. That's not what any of those things are. That's not what journalism does.
No.
That first video where he talks about he went to war with Sean on the golf, that happened the weekend of 9/15. There's some text between them. They're fighting. It's not going to make it so much into this presentation, but at some point we'll go over that. Karen was very, very mad about something that had been posted in the Facebook group that was controlled by Blanca and Sean on the golf. And if you recall from our Fed show, Aiden had created another group with Nick Rocco on the 1st of September, a group that Karen was an admin in. And so this weekend in September that we're going to get to, she was very upset about something that had been posted in Sean's group. So we wanted to give you the lead up to the weekend of 9/15. We wanted to show you what was going on the court dates prior to this weekend, right? And so we're going to start out with May 3rd. And so May 3rd, if you want to go to the next slide, May 3rd is the first court date after Aiden got involved. He was very excited about this day. By this point, we already have all the propaganda going into the public sphere. He has built up some hype around this case. Lydia did, I think it was the first in the Conspiracy Files show we did, right, Lydia?
Yes.
Where she showed exactly how Karen was running this blog, right? So he was copying and pasting from her. So this has been going on since April 18th. They started talking, it was April 17th. By this point, and we are 2.5, 3 weeks in, they are already talking about being famous and becoming millionaires and documentaries. There was definitely this carrot was hung in front of him that he was going to reap all these benefits from being involved. So if you want to go to the next slide. Yep. So this is a text, and the text on the left, it is confirming that Karen is arranging for a seat for Aiden in court that day. May 3rd was the day that they announced the federal investigation. Remember, they had given it to Aiden to publish so that they could then go into court and say it's been published in the media. So that was very orchestrated. It was done on purpose so that they could get in front of the public on this day and say the feds are involved. So you see Karen saying the front row is already full, it's very tight, and it's my immediate family, they're lawyers, and Ingrid and Bill, she says Ing, but it's Ingrid. TB, which is Aiden, can sit behind them with John Silvera. John S. is John Silvera. And the DeRicos, I think, in parentheses, I think he knows them. So what you see on the right is Aiden's attire for the first court appearance. This is him in the hotel room. He sent a screenshot of his outfit of the day for May 3rd. That tie looks like it came out of the 70s.
Oh my God, look at his shirt. Look at his shirt.
I mean, it is something. I think this was the day that the intermediary had told him maybe to put on a little moisturizer.
Yeah.
I don't think that he listened. I don't.
No.
Yeah.
What's going on with his hair? There's like he's bald in the middle and there's like a ring of hair. What's happening?
Yeah.
He had a buzz cut for a long time.
The white supremacist cut.
Right.
Yeah, that he looked up. He wanted to have one of those. So yeah. So this is Aiden getting ready for that first court date.
Well, on the note from the intermediary though, because I remember guffawing reading the tips for being on camera that she gave him, you know, put on a little moisturizer, make sure you drink some water. But I did find that he is subscribed to emails from SkinCeuticals. So I do think he took her advice to heart.
I bet he did take her advice. She gives very good advice. So.
She does.
Yes.
Great advice. Great advice.
She definitely wanted him to look his best.
She did.
Yes.
She did.
She was looking out. She was really looking out.
She's a good lady.
Yes, for sure.
Yes.
And so our next slide. So the other thing that happened this day after court, Aiden went to lunch with Karen and her defense team. And so prior to this day, Alan Jackson was kind of blowing smoke up his ass, Aiden's ass, for lack of a better term. And saying that he had big balls and all this stuff. So on the 18th, after Alan had said that to him, Aiden had sent a text to a friend that said, her attorneys want to meet the reporter with the huge balls. We're getting lunch with them, with Karen on May 3rd. And so that's Aiden telling a friend about it. And then we have Karen, and she's saying Turtle can meet Alan on Wednesday, perhaps, ? I might be there if Alan lets me. I mean, come on, Karen. We know that you're running the show. That's so funny. We'll be holing up in Seaport all week.
Fancy.
Yeah. And I want to say something here. I want to stop in the middle of this text. Karen's reasoning for needing to be in Seaport, to be close to Dedham after going to Boston. Seaport is nowhere near Dedham.
No.
And there are actually hotel rooms in Dedham. They are not the Seaport. They're not the Omni. But it's about, what do you say, Carrie? Like an hour in traffic?
Oh yeah, and could be even more.
Easily.
You saw that. Yeah. You saw that.
So once again, Karen is just full of malarkey.
I mean, we stayed in Dedham. You saw how many hotels there were.
Yep. Lots.
And the thing is that she says in interview after interview, virtually every interview that she did, that she's not paying her lawyers anything, but what she's financially responsible for is the logistics and the flights and the hotels.
Mm-hmm.
And so the part that she's paying for is over the top, wasteful. So she's paying to drivers to drive them 2 hours, each way to court.
Right.
She's paying for the Seaport. She's paying for Smith and Walensky. She's paying for those late night cocktails where Alan is in his capri pants all folded up on the couch. So,
well, she had said before, you try to feed Alan Jackson McDonald's.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think there's a Capitol Grill in Dedham, though. He's too good for Capitol Grill.
I think if I remember correctly, I think I told you that when we were there. I think they were there waiting for the verdict. I'm pretty sure they were at the
Capitol Grill.
Yeah. That would be the only restaurant around that would meet, his standards.
His high standards. A man who has spoken on numerous occasions about Aiden Kearney's balls. That man.
Yeah. And, in those texts, I have to say this because it bothers me so much. It's not in here. But in those texts, the early texts, Alan Jackson referred to John's friends and families as the Aryan Nation.
Yep.
He called them skinheads and racists. He was already setting the stage. He was turning them into characters. And it's just so beyond offensive that he would do and say something like that about John's friends. And that's who he was talking about. John's friends were referred to as the Aryan Nation. So the rest of this text, I can't meet with anyone without the lawyers, but they're pretty liberal about me talking. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, no shit.
We know. They just want to be present, like Dateline, and they did you no favors, sister. Absolutely none, letting you run your mouth like that. So our next slide, this one just cracks me up. I just love it so much. So this happens after court. This is Aiden talking to the intermediary, and I'm starting with the one on the left. And just ignore the top one. The second text is a video of Karen in court, and she smiles at someone. And Aiden says, I can't tell if she was looking at me. Some say she wasn't. I didn't even notice it was happening. Like, I've got a big crutch. And,
So gross.
But one of the things that I want you to see immediately as he's going to court dates, he has taken a picture in this next text, and that is Paul O'Keefe and Carrie Roberts. So he is already scoping these people out. He's already
hunting them.
Yes, he's doing surveillance. These are, John's friends, John's family. He is already doing that. And so this next slide is going to be a video outside of the courthouse that day. And what I want you to take a look at is the amount of people out there. So pay attention to what it looks like, and keep your memories in your mind of the end. So this is where they started.
Okay. Wait, is that an actual video?
There's two of them. There's two of them. So yeah, it starts with, if you go to,
there we go.
This one. Yeah. So this is David.
Karen, good job.
This is Karen coming out of the courtroom. There they are.
So we probably are going to make a couple of quick statements. I'm going to let co-counsel David Yannetti go first.
Sure. For 15 months, this has been a quest for the truth conducted by one party in this case, the defense. The prosecution, on the other hand, has hid evidence, manipulated evidence, stalled, delayed, obfuscated. It has been the defense that has sought the truth. And as I said in court today, for 15 months, I have, and our team has been asking for access to crucial, mandatory discovery and evidence. That's going back to February 2nd of 2022. It is now May 3rd of 2023, and the prosecution has still hid this evidence from us. This is outrageous. Make no mistake about it. We have done our own investigation in this case. We have spoken to witnesses whom the prosecution has either ignored or hidden from us. We have unearthed forensic evidence that the prosecution has either ignored or hidden from us. We have made substantial progress in this case to the point where anybody familiar with this case knows that Karen Reed is innocent. And yet, instead of finally investigating the people who had a motive to kill John O'Keefe, who beat him and left him to die in the cold, in a blizzard, the prosecution has chosen instead to dig their heels in. This will not end well for them. We will continue to unearth exculpatory evidence. They can attempt to stall us. They can attempt to hide. They can attempt to manipulate and delay. But we will not waver in our quest to unearth what the truth is here. Now, as I'm sure you can imagine, you haven't heard from Karen Reed yet. You ultimately will. This obviously has been very, very difficult for her. You heard me talk in court about the job that she has lost, the health insurance she's lost. Bear in mind, she was never allowed to properly mourn the death of her boyfriend because from the jump, the police made her a scapegoat. From the jump, she has not been able to do anything except fight for her life. But know this, Karen Reed is a strong woman. Karen Reed will not let them do this to her. We believe that ultimately the evidence is going to force the prosecution to dismiss this unjust process.
Yeah. So did you notice there's no one there? I think I saw Tom's CPU.
Yes.
Very few people there.
Yes.
And again, with the hyperbole and the rhetoric, and he's very dramatic, and he said it. He said it right there. They wanted the case dismissed. That's why they were doing all this.
Yep.
And so the next slide is Jackson. You're going to notice that there's something very set up and planned about what Jackson does here.
What? Alan Jackson set up and planned?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Karen's fight has become all of our fight for some sort of justice. My suggestion is you folks can play a part in this. Don't you want to ask some questions? I know you do.
I do. I have been.
I know you do. Let me give you some examples. Here's some questions that you might want to think about asking. Why did Jennifer McCabe Google search how long to die in cold at 2:27 in the morning, 3.5 hours before she would have any reason to believe that John O'Keefe was dying in the cold in front of Brian Albert's house? How about that for a question?
She's covering up for him.
Why don't you ask the question, why did she scrub her phone? Why did she take the time to scrub her phone before she turned it into the police? Why did she delete any and all reference to her communications with Brian Albert on the 29th, on the 28th? Why did she go to the efforts to do that kind of thing? Here's another question. Why did Brian Albert get rid of the dog? Why did Brian Albert get rid of the basement floor? Why did Brian Albert get rid of the house? They say that a fish rots from the head first. Let's start with Proctor, Michael Proctor, who's conflicted in this case because he has deep family ties to the very people that he should be looking at as a suspect. How about asking him a few hard questions? For instance, Brian Albert, why didn't you come out of the house? There is a police officer, God bless his heart, a dead cop on his front lawn, and Brian Albert couldn't find it in his soul to even walk out the door. Why was he hiding in the house? What was he hiding in the house? And just like he didn't come out of the house, ask Michael Proctor, the lead investigator on this case, why did he not ever go into the house? From that day to this, he has never set foot in that house. How about forensic investigation? How about trace evidence? How about bloodstain patterns? How about the evidence of a fight? How about evidence of a dog? How about that? Those are the types of things that the Commonwealth doesn't want to answer. So now the cuts go from being from a dog to a cocktail glass in open court. It's funny how that morphs. You folks should be asking the hard questions. I know some of you are, and I know some of you will. We will not stop asking those questions. And by the way, we will get those answers. Come hell or high water, we will get those answers. And like David said, they're not going to like it when we do.
Ellen and David, if what you're saying is true, it completely undermines the confidence in police in the state. What would you say to that?
I'm not going to make any further comments other than what I've already said. I don't think the state has any confidence in their own.
Yeah. And by the way, no one ever said in court that the cocktail glass cut his arm.
Nope.
Jackson literally made that up.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, he made up everything, right? He made up her phone, her deleting her correspondence with Brian Albert for 2 days. I mean, he made everything up. He just said it's repulsive.
Yeah. And so this is their first attack on the witnesses on the courthouse steps by the attorneys. It does get worse.
Which is not in the courtroom, by the way, right? When David Giannetti
extrajudicious
was just blaming all of them for killing John O'Keefe.
Yep.
And look at how much kitchen sink was in this early on. So we've got the dog. We've got him getting rid of the basement flooring. We've got him getting rid of the house.
Right.
You know, all of these things that were the backbone of the promoted conspiracy in social media. He threw them all at this presser.
Well, it sounds pretty amazing, right? I mean, listen to the two of them. They look like two Broadway actors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was very theatrical. Very, very theatrical.
And then I know you have questions and pointing at Aiden.
That's a setup. I mean, that was on purpose, right? And we know they're going to lunch after this. We know they're meeting. They're having a good time at the seaport. So this was all planned. It was, they look like carnival barkers, right? It's like a circus. This is the start of the circus.
Yes.
Right here.
Yes.
Right
And
here.
then looking backwards at what he said in court when he was like, I have nothing to do. And he said it to Dateline too. I have nothing to do with Aiden Carney. I didn't produce the Karen Reed show. I didn't bring Aiden Carney into this. It's all complete lies.
It's a lie.
You can see how choreographed it is here. I'm going to point at you, Aiden.
Yeah, he said that as recently as in court with Hank, remember? Denying that he had any contact with the blogger, I think he called him. He just lies.
Yeah. He just lies. If he's talking, he's lying. That's why he and Karen are thick as thieves.
Yes. Besties for life. So the next court date is going to be May 24th, and you're going to see this stuff start to ratchet up. One of the things that I want to say about this court date is it's about 5 days after this that they start the GoFundMe. I believe it was May 29th that we saw that
the message
text in the extraction where it's set up and it's going to Jackson. So this is the next court date after Aiden Carney is involved. And we're going to see some things. We've got about 4 videos for you. And so we're going to start at the end of court. Again, you're going to notice the crowds are much smaller, much smaller than they're going to be in the next 2. We're going to start after court. We're going to start with the press conference. So this is, again, the hyperbole on the steps. You know, poor Karen. She's just this poor, innocent woman who's been traumatized and she didn't do anything wrong. So
she looks so sad.
Yeah, right. I think she's sad because she had like this section of hair that if you can see it straight up, it was sticking straight up. But yeah, you can go ahead and play it.
Okay. Oh, my play button disappears. Sorry.
Oh, that's the wrong one. Yeah. Yep. Here we go.
There we go.
So is this a cover-up, and if so, who's leading the cover-up?
Your guess is as good as mine. That's what we're trying to figure out. That's exactly what we're trying to figure out. Certainly the Massachusetts State Police is involved. There are people that were in that house that are involved. Brian Albert is involved. Jennifer McCabe is involved. The rest of the folks that were in that house, there's some level of involvement by everyone, every single one. And until we're not going to rest until we get to the bottom of exactly who's behind this cover-up, because not only Karen Reed deserves this, John O'Keefe deserves this, and has deserved this from moment one. And that's why we're not going to rest.
So yeah, so he directly accuses the witnesses outside of court. He says everyone in that house was involved.
Correct. Sarah Levinson, Julie Nagel, Brian Albert Jr., Caitlin Albert, all of these people, poor Karen.
Yep. And now they are using the victim, right? They're going to use the victim and be like, this is all for John. This is all for John. They're claiming him to benefit her. And so this next video is same press conference, and we've got one of John's friends. So we've got one of John's friends. It's his best friend. His name is Carl Dougal. He is there with his wife, Jackie. They went to several court dates. Karen already doesn't like Carl. Carl was upset with the way that Karen handled this. Obviously, Carl thought that Karen was likely involved. Carl wanted justice for his friend. He loved John. Jackie loved John. So they're here at the press conference. They're listening to what Karen has to say. She had made there's a very nasty message that Karen sent about Carl. And she basically said, if he just paid $5 and walked across the hall and got the court records, then he would know what's going on. And, to you, Karen, I have to say, Carl knew exactly what was going on. He knew exactly what was in those court papers. So
he did.
Yeah.
And I think, Julie, just not to interrupt you, but it's worth noting, right? They really liked Karen.
They did.
They really liked Karen. So this wasn't like they didn't like her and, oh, they want to blame her. And she was just over their house a week before this happened or something, putting their kids to bed with Jackie. Like, they really liked her.
They sure did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her ire is directed at anybody who cared about John.
Yes. And who doesn't buy her fairy tale.
Yeah.
Correct. So we're going to hear some more, and we're going to hear Carl.
This is an innocent woman. She didn't do it.
I tried to save his life. I tried to save his life at 6 in the morning. I was covered in his blood. I was the only one trying to save his life.
Why do you admit to it? She didn't admit to it. She didn't admit to anything close to that. Nothing close to that. And you should know that.
That was like 3 or 4 times.
No, she didn't.
That's not true.
She asked a question. She asked a question, which is very different. She didn't admit to anything.
Everyone's lying.
Yep. So one thing that you should know about this, Carl asked that question immediately after this happened. Aidan Kearney filed a complaint against him with the Boston Police Department. Aidan Kearney filed a complaint because Carl Dougal asked a question at a press conference.
Mr. First Amendment.
Mr. First Amendment.
Correct. And so the next video you're going to see is the immediate reaction, what Aidan does to Carl and his wife, because he dared ask a question. He didn't accuse her. He didn't call her names. He simply asked, why did you say you did it?
Mm-hmm.
So this next video is the aftermath of this.
Boston. How are you a Boston cop? You're not from Boston. Keep up the good work, man.
Thanks. Excuse me, sir. Just a moment. Aidan Kearney, Turtle Boy Daily News. Just have a couple questions for you. What's your name, sir? What's your name, sir? Are you a friend of John O'Keefe? Were you friends with John O'Keefe? Or are you one of these people who's involved in the cover-up? Which is nothing to say. You had a lot to say back there. Hi, miss. What's your name, miss? Are you here to support justice for John O'Keefe or here to cover it up? Just out of curiosity, just wondering. Okay, we're doing it. We're doing it. So I noticed you guys back there said that you believe, why did Karen admit to it? You realize she asked a question, correct? According to their own testimony? That she asked a question, could I have done it? Do you think it's possible that Jen McCabe put that in her head? Are you guys friends with Jen McCabe? Who are you guys? Who are you guys? Why are you guys participating in the cover-up of the murder of a Boston police officer? Are you a cop killer? Are you involved? Are you involved? Are you a police officer yourself, sir? We'll find out. Pulse Media? No, that's not it. Oh, is it better? Okay, so were you guys involved in covering up for John O'Keefe? Are you a Boston police officer? Who are you, sir? Who are you, miss? You had a lot to say back there. You had a lot to say back there. They got nothing to say now. You got very little to say now, folks. Very little to say now. All of a sudden, they got shy. They had a lot to say back there, but somebody actually, a real reporter, an award-winning journalist starts asking them questions. What do? They run away. They all run away. That's what they all do. Don't let that guy right there, that guy is helping to cover up a murder. He's a piece of shit. Do not let that guy walk around a polite society like he's some law-abiding citizen. He's not. He's a scumbag. He looked like a cop. Didn't he look like a cop? He had a lot to say back there, but he can't even say his goddamn name. What a joke. What an absolute joke. Miscarriage of justice. But karma's coming for you, baby. Karma's coming for you.
So a couple things about this. You heard him. You heard the person behind him go get him immediately off the steps.
Yep.
Immediately, within 30, 40 seconds of it, he starts accusing Carl and Jackie of being in on it, of being in on the conspiracy. And when they went to those cars, did you notice he was looking for the plates?
He sure was.
He was trying to get the plate.
He sure was.
Yeah. And so this one, obviously what he had done is it's awful, but there's not a crowd. This is going to get much worse. So terrible. And so he wasn't done that day.
No.
Attacking people and following witnesses and following family and friends. He also did this to Jen McCabe, Matt McCabe, and Carrie Roberts. So this next video is again, same day, May 24th. This will be the last court date that Jen McCabe will attend. She will not go to the next 2 court dates. And this is what happened to Carrie and Jen and Matt that day.
That's what you are. That's all you're ever going to be, is a cop killer. Disgusting. Disgusting.
Yeah. I remember the first time I saw that video, it was shortly after he had taken it. And I looked up the case. What I really thought was that maybe there was some kind of bar fight, something like that.
Yeah.
And when I looked it up and I read, I was like, what is he doing? This makes no sense. Like,
Right.
And I had, kind of ignored it because I was like, this is ridiculous. This guy's a clown. This is a clown with an iPhone. This isn't going to go anywhere. Unfortunately, I was wrong.
Right. You were really wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who would have ever thought it would have went here?
I mean, it's insane. And you can see there was no crowd there.
No.
There was very, very little fanfare out in front of that courthouse.
I think the first time there was a really big crowd there was the day that Nate Reed was yelling and at the top of the steps. And
so
was that the first day? The first time?
No. So where we see the crowd come in, and this is our next date.
Oh, okay.
So this is July 25th.
Okay.
And it has exponentially grown.
Yeah.
Right. And this is after he's gone, like I said, he's gone to their homes. He's gone to D&E multiple times. The accusations are just terrible at this point. He did the rolling rally. This is after the rolling rally. This is right after the rolling rally. So I want you guys to remember this and remember that, these weekends seem to coincide, right? So 7/22, he does the rolling rally. 7/25, we have a court date.
Yep.
And so this is the court date. Now they are having a quote unquote peaceful rally outside the court. You see their signs. I mean, like it's just completely changed. And again, the GoFundMe has been started. And so these are John's friends and family walking in, and you're going to see what happens to him from this crowd, this mob that he has assembled on the courthouse steps. An echo. So it's playing really weird. There's like an echo or something. Like the audio is really slow. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the audio. That was really, really slow. So they're booed. I mean, and you see Carl at the end there. They're booed when they walk into court. You've got just these unhinged people standing outside the courtroom.
And I mean, that is John O'Keefe's family.
Yep, that is them. They make a spectacle of themselves. You can start to see the signs. You can see some of the pictures.
Yeah.
I think that the people that showed up that day were absolutely shocked to be walking in to the booze, shocked at the way this crowd, the energy of the crowd, the way the crowd was, so aggressive towards them. And so the next video, and I hope it plays okay.
I hope so too.
Yeah, the next video is after court. And so if you remember, he had chased Carl on May 24th. This is the next court date after this. And you're going to see it is 1 million times worse what happens here. Do it again. So it's playing this line, it's playing it like, I don't know what's happening.
Oh, yes, please.
I'm trying to stop it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Let's see.
You want me to try to send you that video?
She actually changed, I think she changed it so that I can edit now. So let's see.
Oh, perfect.
So let me stop sharing for a second. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete everything before.
Delete the slides we did. Yeah. Yeah. So this next one, you're going to see, you saw it was just Aiden. He's just following Carl and Jackie. He's saying horrible, terrible things to the best friend of a murder victim, accusing him of being in on the murder and in on this fake conspiracy that they have dreamt up. But this next one, you're going to see the hysteria that the two of them built in the community. And you're going to see how these people reacted and what they did. And they don't even, when I watch these videos, these don't even look like human beings to me. They're like animals.
They are animals.
And they're behaving like animals.
Weird. They are literal animals.
Dare we try this one again?
Yeah, we could try it so everybody can hear the booing.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why that's so weird. Yeah, I don't know what the deal with the audio on that one is, because they booed, obviously. But this next one, if you want to delete that one, and then we can go on the next one. This is what they do to Carl after this court date, and Carl still shows up, right? He's still coming. Jackie's still coming because they love their friend and they love the O'Keefes and they want to support them. And it's horrific. It's nightmarish to me for something like this to happen. So listen in the beginning because he is hunting Carl.
Ugh. Okay.
I just got to get Carl on the way out. Huh? I just can't miss Carl. Yeah, you want to take a picture? We'll go back.
Aiden, your phone was here. You want it?
Oh, yes, please.
I'll grab it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you. Carl, do you think it's appropriate to harass innocent women while they're on the courthouse steps? How come you have so much to say to Karen Reed, but you don't have anything to say to me? Carl, are you worried that you're disgracing the Boston Police Department? Do you think it's appropriate as a Boston police detective to treat innocent women like that? Do you think that's appropriate? Do you? How do you feel about disgracing the legacy of John O'Keefe by showing up every day with the people who murdered him?
Did anyone really ever call him Jake?
Are you do you feel bad about that at all? Are you ashamed of that? What do you think of Jen McCabe's 227 Google call? You have Google search for how long to die in cold. Well, your supposed friend was dying in the cold. She wanted to know how long it would take for him to expire. What do you have to say about that, detective? What happens when a situation like that is brought to your desk at the Boston Police Department? Do you just often decide who's innocent or guilty based on a feeling? Do you feel that Karen Reed owed you a phone call that morning? Is that what this is all about? You got your feelings hurt by a woman? Is that what this is about? That you got your feelings hurt? That Karen Reed was experiencing trauma. She just watched her boyfriend die in front of her. because your thug friends killed her. They killed her. And she didn't call you up to see how you were doing, and that hurt your precious feelings. Are you all ashamed?
No, look at him.
Are you? How come you had so much to say to Karen Reed that day? You had a real big mouth, and you got nothing to say now. What's up with that?
This is the
Do
public.
you have any comment about that?
We
What do
pay
you-
your salary.
One of your own brothers in blue. Disgraceful. How'd you like this happen to your daughter? Your daughter gets wrongly accused of a crime. Murdered. Do you have any comment on that? Any comment?
I don't think it does vanish.
Yeah, what evidence do you think there is? How come you got nothing to say? I mean, if there's so much evidence, if she did it, then isn't there mountains of evidence that you could just cite right now? Can you say one thing? One thing. Can you got anything? Do you got anything? Do you?
Fake crime scene.
Do you have anything? Is that how do the Boston Police Department, if they find a body on a front lawn, is the official? Jackie, do you have anything to say? Do you have anything to say? You had a lot to say to Karen Reed. You had a lot to say to John's other ex-girlfriend, who also came to support him. You kind of thought you were a tough girl there, huh? Intimidating her.
Look at that.
Really? You got nothing to say now. What is up with that? Why do you have nothing to say? You got nothing to say. Nothing? Nothing. Disgraceful. 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 Disgraceful.
You're not worth your fucking paycheck.
Look at this. Fake cop.
Remember, we pay you.
Fake cop.
Veteran, my ass.
Fake cop. Disgrace.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say. I mean, yeah, I just, and then at the end, making comments about his service.
Yeah, he is truly, anyone who's watching this who supports him and cheers him on, you got to get some help. If you're watching that, that's not normal. Not normal.
Normal people don't do that kind of stuff.
No.
I mean, and they were acting like a unit, right? Like the cells, and they were just like, I can't even imagine having that kind of energy around me and the way that they're like.
I don't understand either. I don't know what the courts were doing. I don't know why that was allowed. I understand First Amendment. That is, I mean, they're like stalking them, hunting them. There's a mob around them. That's not safe. Like, get away from. I don't know how those two did it. I don't.
Somebody and they're so close to them. Like,
they're so close.
The phones by their faces. And somebody in the comments asked a good question: is who is that other person who's filming the other view? I'd love to.
Yeah, I didn't see that guy a lot. He was around in the beginning.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'd just like to see the footage from the other angles, but it's like Lord of the Flies.
Yeah, I mean, Jackie looks like she's gonna cry at any moment, and it's so disgusting. It's disgusting.
Yep.
And I've never seen that, even in the most heated, controversial trials. I have never seen this.
It's not civilized.
No,
it's not civilized.
It's not civilized.
It's like Julie said, I don't even know what to say about what we just watched. I forgot about that. I haven't seen it in so long.
I want to see people tomorrow defending this. I want to see what they're going to say about why this is okay. Like, what excuse is going to be given for what we just saw?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we're going to go on to September. We're going to take it day by day. And so Friday is the court date. Saturday, Karen had some activities, and Sunday, Karen had some activities. At this point, I think they have implicated Carl in the conspiracy, both Carl and Paul.
Yes.
They've said that they were involved in getting John's car fixed. So it's gone from, not liking them to now they're part of the, 12 million man conspiracy that's been made up.
Because Paul O'Keefe would definitely
Oh,
cover
for sure.
up
Yeah.
his brother's death. So the real killers can go free.
Right.
And he can send Karen, who he liked, to jail.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
And so these first two videos happened prior to the court date. So this is on September 11th. At that time, Aiden was doing his shows, his live show, instead of on Tuesday, he was doing it on Monday. So this is the lead up to that court date. And so again, on July 25th, Jen McCabe did not go to that court date. That was after the rolling rally. I don't know how many witnesses actually, I don't think any of them attended that court date, and likely because of the rolling rally, because they had gone to all of their homes. And I had a conversation with someone on Twitter. It is not legal to protest on private property.
No, it's not. No.
You can protest on public property.
Right.
Private property, that is not legal. That is not your First Amendment right. So if anyone's confused about that.
That's why, if you guys remember in all the texts we've seen, Karen was asking Aiden if there was a public street near Proctor's house. That's why she was really concerned. She wanted to make sure there was a public street, probably so they could, either stalk him or protest, who knows.
But what's interesting about that for me, that's exactly what I was going to say, is Karen obviously knew that that is illegal. She didn't share that with him.
No, she didn't.
She just threw his ass to the wolves. And
no, she didn't care what happened to him.
No, absolutely not.
No,
nope,
absolutely not.
Okay, you ready?
Yep. So there's going to be two of them, guys. We'll probably play them. No, we'll stop and talk. Yeah, we'll play the first one.
Yeah.
That I have any sympathy for, except for Karen Reed and her family. That's literally it. Nobody deserves sympathy. When I first saw this, read about the story, I'm like, oh, wow, tough, tough situation here. Your kid does something stupid and you want to protect the family. Tough situation that they're in. I get it. But then once I heard that Jen McCabe goes out in public, once I heard that she does, I'm like, okay, so at least Brian Albert is really doing what he's supposed to be doing, hiding like a cornered rat. Like, that's what you should be doing, is moving out of Canton, picking shit up, leaving. But no, Jen McCabe is so arrogant that she insists on still living life like everything's normal, like she didn't murder someone, like the whole world that can't read the newspaper or Turtle Boy or wherever and read about this. So, yeah, I don't think Brian Albert, sadly, like I said, they call him the brains in this whole thing. He's the smart one. He's the one that doesn't show up to this shit. The rest all seem to. So I have also been told that Morrissey seems to have no idea, like none, that he's under federal indictment. Like, everybody who's under federal indictment knows it. Like, weird shit starts happening to you. You hear weird shit on the phone. You're noticing weird people following you. Like, the FBI shows up in your office and asks for phones. That's usually like a tip. Like, you're under FBI investigation. But anyway, we'll see what all these people. It's going to go down. I mean, we'll see what happens. Anyway, on Friday, so that's the plan on Friday. So I don't know how long court.
Okay. So you heard what he said that they should be doing, right? They should be staying in their homes. They shouldn't be going in public.
That's going to play really well in court.
Yeah. Except he's going to their homes, right? He's doing that. So they're not even safe at home. But what I want you to start thinking about, what he is doing is creating a situation where people do not want to go to court to support the O'Keefes.
Correct.
He is taking away their support system. Yes. And very early on in the text messages between Aiden Carney and Karen Reed, Karen made it very, very clear that she does not like the O'Keefes.
Yeah.
She has an extreme amount of spite and hate towards the O'Keefes. And so what he is trying to do is to create a situation where they have absolutely no support.
And it balanced. She wanted it to look like she had all this support. So she made sure all the seats were full.
Yes.
And that's all part of the PR, is if she could successfully keep people out of those rows of seats on the O'Keefe side, and hers were like packed with the little pink people, then it would all be on law and crime.
Yep.
And it would work in her favor.
And it was exactly what Paul said when Paul said it turned into the Karen show. That is exactly what she wanted. She
Right.
wanted to cut off any support to them. And she wanted it to all be support for Karen outside that courthouse, inside the courthouse, in the media. She wanted the O'Keefes to have absolutely no support. And so,
I mean, they talk about that in the Texas. They're happy. And he talked about it in a video once. I don't know if we're playing it tonight. One down. We're keeping them all out. He did. That's what they wanted.
Yep. And so this next video is, and again, Jen does not go to this court date. But this next video is something else he said that night on September 11th. Likely one of the reasons why she did not go to the court date.
I sat in the second row the first time. That was a mistake because they exit the rows back row first. And I need to be the first one out because she can't, if Jen McCabe comes, I have to interview her. And if that fat cow, Carrie Roberts, comes, I've never confronted Carrie Roberts. I hate that. I hate Carrie Roberts. I hate that woman with a passion. At first, I didn't know how to feel about her. But the more I think about Carrie Roberts and what she did, right? She wasn't in the house. She obviously wasn't involved in that. But she knows goddamn well everything that happened. And she's supposed to be John's friend. And she's doing this shit. And she's hanging out with these scumbags who she knows murdered John. And she's still with them. What a horrible friend. What a horrible, disgusting friend. Living in a house, exposing her kids to domestic violence. Her and her husband getting charged and, calling the cops, drinking all the time. Bunch of trash bags, these people. Bunch of trash bags. Anyway, I hate Carrie Roberts. So, yeah, she's soulless trash. I'm going to aim you on that. She is soulless trash. So, anyway, that's what we'll do Friday. And then afterwards, I've heard that there's going to be some sort of press conference on the stairs afterwards that I don't want to miss. So hopefully I get my interviews done and then the defense attorneys come out and we have some type of interview. I'll tell you who won't be holding any interviews. The district attorney's office will not be holding any interviews because they don't talk to press. They have nothing to say. Usually they do. Usually that's like the DA's representative on the stairs being like, we're going to get justice. And the victim's family being on the stairs like, we demand justice. None of them will do that because they're all clowns. All these people are clowns. And so I can't wait. Like every single person who starts showing up on behalf of this lynching, because that's what it is. They're trying to lynch this woman. And any person who shows up on that side, I don't care, you're guilty. You're a bad person if you're showing up on that side. Yes, you deserve to get booed. The only people we're not going to boo are his brother and his parents. Everyone else gets booed. I don't care. I'm booing them. People are like, oh, you shouldn't boo them. No, I'm booing them. That's what you do with people you don't like. You boo them. They're garbage. Garbage. Now, the O'Keefe's a little different. I think they're shitty. Like, what they're doing is shitty. But the optics of it all, I don't think it's good look. So I'm going to invite them to our peaceful protest for John. So that's my plan. I'm going to invite them. Oh, if Carl comes, we all know Carl's getting booed. Does anybody have the name of Carl's stupid friends that came with them? I'd like to know their names because I want to be able to call them out by name. Laura Sullivan, if I see that heifer there, she's getting booed. Jill Thomas, Kerry. I mean, I know who all these characters are now. They're all getting it. They're all getting booed. Anybody who shows up with the Justice for JJ bullshit pin, oh, God. At least Jill Daniels is the smartest not to show up anymore. But, all right, anyway.
So, yeah, he told you, if you show up and you support the O'Keefes, we're going to attack you. We will attack you. You know, that the bullshit that he gave where we're not going to boo the family, that's because he had some backlash.
Yes.
From the July date. Yes. And he got it from, I think it was.
They continued to boo the family up until December. I mean, I was there. I saw it with my own eyes. They continued to boo John and his family whenever they went inside the court.
Yep.
And they'll still to this day say that didn't happen. And then we have to post the videos
Yeah.
of it. People will still say it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yep. And so Aiden on this date is actually involved in a direct attack. He's standing right next to someone who is very, 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 very close to Karen Reed, who attacks John's brother verbally. So everything that he said about that was just pure bullshit. The Reeds show up at this court date incredibly aggressively.
Yes.
They are there to attack the O'Keefes. They are there to attack the witnesses. Karen is leading the charge in this.
They want these charges dropped. That is the whole reason for all of this.
Yep. Yep. And so the next video is we are going to see there's more of Aiden. This is him that day outside. He is on the courthouse steps. There is this crowd, and you can see now it's much, much bigger. There is the crowd. He is attacking the witnesses. He is trying to rile these people up. And so there's going to be 2 speeches from Aiden that come next.
Apparently, Colin Albert was in the house. Look at that black guy. Yes, he was. Colin Albert was inside the house on 34 Clearview Road. He was there the entire time. He got a ride home from Jen McCabe's daughter. What kind of animal gets their 17-year-old daughter to be a getaway driver on a murder? What kind of monster does something like that? I'll tell you what kind of monster does something like that. The same kind of monster who sees a man bleeding out inside of the house, and instead of calling 911, instead of calling a cop, mind you, instead of calling 911, what does she do? She goes home and she Googles how long to die in cold at 2:27. And let's be very clear, that happened. It's undeniable. It is indisputable. Jen McCabe Googled how long to die in cold at 2:27 and 40 seconds a.m. And then she deleted it. And then she deleted all of her phone calls between 5 a.m. and 9 a.m. Why on earth would anyone ever do that? Just those calls, just during that time. We all know why she did that. Because she participated in the murder of a Boston police officer. And then she has the nerve to show up in this courthouse more times than I can count to sit behind John O'Keefe's family with her bootleg Walmart Justice for JJ pin and pretend like she cares about their grief. And pretend like she cares about them. Like she wasn't involved in their son's murder. So I guess this is Dedham High School kids. They're getting an education today. Hello, children. Hey, young minds. They are. We're participating here. We're here for justice for John O'Keefe. When you guys go home, or you don't even have to go home. You got your phone. I want you guys to Google Karen Reed. Free 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 Karen Reed.
So when we talk about witness intimidation, here you have this guy who has assembled this crowd, who is riling them up. And if you are a witness, one of the people that he is accusing, you are going to have to walk through that gauntlet.
Right. That is the definition of witness intimidation.
Listen,
Right.
I got nothing. I really have nothing. If you can watch that and you can stomach it,
right,
and then try to think about what it would be like if you were that witness and you don't understand what this man was doing to these people and what he was doing to the justice system and the justice process in this case, I don't know what to say to you.
Right.
That is,
and his family having to walk through that. Imagine.
Yeah. Never seen anything like this. This is beyond, just beyond. You're on mute, honey.
Darn it, that was so profound too. How are we ever going to recover from that?
No, we won't.
Yeah, it's completely unprecedented, even in cases and Carrie and I watch trials all the time. That's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And even in trials that are about gangs and about large organizations, large violent organizations, you do not see this.
No.
And I pointed out today This is one of the earliest iterations of crowds on demand. So if you look
I
at
saw those. I saw the signs. Yep.
that are all printed exactly the same way with kind of random, almost AI generated little messages on them.
Yes.
But all the slack-jawed mental patients in the crowd who are just like, with a random sign that has the exact same font as the person next to him, that they literally look like they're on Haldol, just holding a sign. That's crowds on demand. So that is paid, organizations that provide you with protesters for whatever you have. It doesn't matter if it's a trial. It doesn't matter if it's a bake sale. It doesn't matter if it's, United Healthcare or ICE or whatever. They get paid $18 an hour. They show up, drugged out and weird. You'll notice their facial expressions are very neutral, all of them. And then the crazy people that we all know their names now, who are in the front rows, they're very animated and they're yelling. They're right. The other ones are like, I'm getting my $18 and going back to the group home.
Right.
So that particular video shows you that is part of the paid PR that happened around this.
Yeah.
Yep. And so we've got another, he continues to do this. He got there like at, I think 7:30, 8:30 in the morning. Yes. Right. And he continues to rile this crowd up, it's unreal.
It is. Oh, there's that goddamn picture of her.
That picture, St. Karen. But see the one that says proctored evidence? The crowds on demand, and look at her face. She doesn't. She doesn't give a.
I think this person right here in the left corner, that's Nick Rocco's head.
Yes, right there.
Yeah.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
One of the last people to see John O'Keefe, who probably had something to do with the murder of John O'Keefe. Again, that's Michael Proctor's job to find out. That's Michael Proctor's job.
Zombies.
But Brian Albert doesn't come because Brian Albert's smart enough to know that I shouldn't. Everybody knows what I did. Everybody knows it. And my best bet is to just hide out and just hide out. I'm not dumb. I'm not Jim McCabe. I'm not that brazen and arrogant to show my face. I've never seen Brian Albert in the flesh. I've never seen Brian Higgins in the flesh. I've never seen Colin Albert in the flesh. These people hide. They hide because they're cowards. They killed someone, and they know that we all know what they did, and they're too ashamed to show their faces. Even Jen McCabe didn't come to the last hearing, and that's because you're all here. Because that coward, Jen McCabe, has been, for the last 20 months, has been going inside this courthouse and sitting behind the mother of John O'Keefe and rubbing her shoulders with those bootleg Justice for JJ pins. She's been standing outside there pretending to care about him. She's been taking that sadistic wench took John's niece to orientation night at Canton High School. How sadistic is that? You killed her guardian, her uncle, basically her dad. That girl already lost her mother and her father, and then they took away her adopted father too, because they hadn't been through enough. And then on top of that, the people who killed him, bring that girl around and pretend like they care about her and pretend like they love her, and they tell her that the only female role model that you've had for the last few years is actually a psychopath who murdered your uncle, and the damage that does to a young child. I mean, we're forgetting about what they've done to those kids. They have damaged those poor kids irreparably. Who hurts kids? What monsters? What absolute monsters they are. They want to turn John O'Keefe's kids into their kids, because their kids all turn out screwed up. And they want to turn that whole town, the whole incestuous town, into a bunch of Alberts and McCabe's. No doubt about it. But we're not going to let that happen, because the Alberts and the McCabe's aren't going to be around for too much longer. They're going to be rotting in jail cells where they belong, aren't they? They're going to be rotting away. They're going to get what they wanted to do to Karen Reed. That is charged with murder and sitting in a box, hopefully, for the rest of their lives, so they can't hurt anyone else. Look at this. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Would you go to court? Would you walk through that crowd after he did that?
He just
said those things about you?
He was just screaming. That's why she's not there. I mean, I'm sitting here listening to him thinking, I can't even imagine when all this is played in his civil trials. I mean, in his criminal trial, I mean, it's all on video, why he was doing it, what he was doing it for. and she didn't go back. She couldn't go back.
The judge said, just hit play.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, you're right.
yeah.
He did. He did when he tried to get his case dismissed the last time. Just hit play.
Yep.
All you have to do.
And so, like I said earlier, you see that in this weekend that Karen and her family show up, and it's not just Aiden anymore. They're very aggressive. They get involved in all of this. And so we see William Reed show up, and William Reed addresses this rabid crowd.
He's courageous. He's factually innocent. He framed Karen Reed. We will not stop. My family is so strengthened by this outpouring of citizenship from all over, fighting back against corrupted institutions. If we lose faith in our institutions, this country is not what it was built on. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking time out of your day, out of your schedule, to come here and support. In support of freedom, support of justice, support of integrity. No, of course she didn't do it. She did not do it. Look at the injuries. Look at her car.
That's a Brian Albert move.
Stop there. Look at the injuries. Look at her car.
Where's Chloe? Look at the difference between the Brian Walsh case and the Karen Reed case. Totally different investigating. I was saying, investigator.
My daughter will be here in a few moments with her immense and talented and dedicated and committed lawyers. Lawyers who are competent, smart as hell. We'll get this thing unveiled. Thank you so much again. Thank you.
I'm really surprised he didn't say a prayer. You know, all the things that you use to manipulate people, Bill Reed used those things in that speech. They had a plan when they showed up at that courthouse, and they were 100% involved in what was going on that day. Again, I mean, this is a nightmare. This is an absolute.
It is. It's a nightmare. They were watching his show every night. They said that in the text messages.
And I think that we probably should do a show on Karen's signal messages. The things that we learned about her family. And their level of involvement.
Right.
That William Reed is watching Aiden Kearney.
And he loves it. He loves it. He loves the show.
See you next Tuesday. And it gives him life. I mean,
yeah.
And she didn't say that exactly, but that's what he was doing on the show. And she's saying that, you know, he, no matter how tired he is, he's watching that. And it gives him, you know, it gives him hope. To hear Paul O'Keefe called a maggot. Like we've watched the shows. We know exactly what he's saying. So it's I don't even know what to say. And so this next video that you're gonna see the video.
Can I say one thing before we move on?
Yeah, absolutely.
So the thing that's really interesting to me about the last two videos is how, like, the incivility of people who have won court action that day, taking over the entire front of a courthouse that is packed with cases, right? There are people who have to move in and out of that courthouse for all sorts of other actions that day. And you'll notice that in the civil action, the second Alan Jackson tried that, someone came out of the courthouse and shooed him away like a bug. Because, which
is what they should have been doing here.
It's what they should have been doing. I mean, how did other people get in and out of the courtroom that day and they just take it over like they own the place? And Bill Reed is just, you know, Elmer Gantry, like white trash Elmer Gantry, talking to all these nut jobs and never gets moved off the courthouse steps.
Oh, and Lydia, that was a small crowd compared to like when it got bigger. I mean, they took over the streets, the people's lawns, parking lots of places. It was it was repulsive. I don't know.
Entitlement is so disgusting from every read.
And so
so gross.
Yeah, you don't see it in those videos, but Aiden argued with the court and with MSP that was out there. They wanted the stairs, they wanted the caution tape gone. They also had people staking out the back because they did not want the family or the witnesses to go in the back. They wanted to force them to walk through the front. They were actually, they wanted to fly a drone around the back, so that they could catch anybody that was going in the back, because they wanted to make them go through the front. They wanted to make them go through the crowd.
There's a message to him from someone who said Lally likes to come out the back. I guess that didn't work out for him. I'll pull that message and put it on Twitter. But yeah, no, they were predators.
Unbelievable.
So
and so this next video is the family coming up the steps. We're going to play it, and then we have a series of messages to show you guys from Karen Reed. Watch, and especially watch towards the end. Somebody caught it in our group. I didn't catch it at first, but there's somebody at the end that's going to make you smile. But this is terrible. What happens here is terrible.
God, Nelson!
There's Carl the Cut, Cucky Carl, and Jackie. Disgraceful. We're getting justice for John O'Keefe. We're here for justice for John O'Keefe, are we? You want justice for John? Shame on you! Shame on you!
Yep. So did you catch the guy at the end, you guys?
Diller.
Yeah, it was Attorney Diller at the end of there. He's been there since, I mean, that was a long time ago. That was how many, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago? Yep. So there's a confrontation between Nathan. That is who that was. It was Nathan and Paul. You see, because the camera's pointed towards Paul, you see Paul react, but he was provoked. Aiden wrote an article. Aiden completely lied, because we're gonna see what Karen says about what happened on those steps. And again, remember in that video where he said they weren't going to boo the family, the Reeds showed up there to attack the O'Keefes.
And there's Mr. Reed taunting Trooper Buchanan.
Yes. Pointing for the screen, screenshot. Pointing at Yuri, riling up that crowd again. And so these messages, we are going to start from the bottom. We're going to start. Aiden says something to Karen. Karen replies, no. We can't see Aiden's response. We can only see Karen's. So not sure what Aiden said. But then Karen replies, Nathan yelled at the guy in front of Paul. So there you have it. It was Nathan. Nathan is yelling at the people that are walking up the stairs. Nathan yelled at the guy in front of Paul, and Paul called Nathan an asshole, which it is an asshole move. It's an asshole move to behave that way and to yell at people as they're coming up the stairs and coming into court. You're an American.
His brother is the victim.
Correct.
His brother.
Correct. And here is a court case for his brother, and this knucklehead is screaming and yelling at people trying to enter to hear for the hearing. So Nathan yelled at the guy in front of Paul, and Paul called Nathan an asshole. Then Nathan told Paul to fuck off. So Aiden obviously disagrees with Karen. And as you know, there were other messages we've shown him before. Karen is never wrong. She told him that. She's always right. Karen says, you're wrong. And then she says, Paul says, you asshole. And then Karen says, he's not even done. And Nathan yells, fuck off loudly. Maybe Paul says fuck off later, but I can't hear it. Watch it again. So again, here is Karen confirming Nathan was being aggressive.
And she's so proud. She's so proud.
So proud of her little baby brother.
Yep. And so she had started all of this. This whole conversation started with the one at the top. And this is one I want you guys to remember. I loved that Nathan immediately yelled at Paul to fuck off. My brother was so sweet and polite to the O'Keefes, and Paul probably thought Nathan would bite his tongue. So we know that the first time that Nathan met the O'Keefes was when John died. Right. So when they got there, when they went to the O'Keefe One Meadows to get her car, that's when Nathan met them. So I don't know what Karen is talking about here about, Nathan is just this wonderful, sweet guy, but yeah, so Karen Reed is telling you Nathan created this confrontation. And again,
you can see it in the picture. I think it was in Boston Magazine.
Yep.
Nathan is screaming at Paul.
Yep. And you look at it, and here's Mr. Reed being aggressive. He's pointing at people, he's pointing at Yuri. He's saying, like, you did this, and he's pointing at Yuri. This family showed up there aggressive, ready to attack. This is what they did that day.
They showed up in Turtle Boy mode.
Yep. They 100% did. This was, and this was not just spontaneous. This was planned. They planned this 100%. And so what we're going to see next, there were a lot of motions on this day that were argued. This motion is the most interesting of the motions. This is the bail argument. They wanted her bail reduced. If you recall, if you're a historian of this case, they put this argument in there.
Oh my God! There's the poster board. There's the poster board.
They love a chalk.
Yep. Didn't file it properly.
Nope.
However, the judge still allowed them to argue it. This motion will be withdrawn after this hearing.
Yep.
The reason why they're withdrawing it is because they did not want to file the financial paperwork that has to go with it, right? And so this is just my opinion. They obviously did this so they could make these arguments, so that they could smear these witnesses, so they could turn Karen into the victim. And they did not want to file that financial paperwork. Why? Because it would ruin her GoFundMe, right? If these people in the crowd found out that Karen is not in need of funds, then they would not be so generous. So this is probably one of my favorite moments in court. So it's just a little snippet. It makes me laugh every time. And then we're gonna watch something else. So if you want to just watch this.
For your bail, please put that down. Do you have chalks for your bail argument?
I have one chalk that I was intending to show the court at the
I don't need to see a chalk, Mr. Yannetti. You didn't give me sufficient evidence under Commonwealth versus Brangan. So I will hear you.
When she says, Liza, please put that down. Please put that down.
Liza's like, I mean, it's John O'Keefe's legs, I think, in the picture, right?
Yeah, it was, yeah. So they
what is wrong with it?
And so what Liza had done with that is she kind of flashed it to the crowd first, right? Again, because we've got this whole thing going on here on this day, and Canoni saw what she did and said, "You're not doing it. You're not going to do that." So yeah. So the next one, we have cropped it so you can watch what the Reed family does and what they do. After he makes this statement in court, David Yannetti makes this statement and he attacks a witness. Watch their reaction. I think Lydia might be frozen. Oh, no, she's not frozen. So, yeah.
What he did not tell you, what Mr. Rowley did not tell you is there's another member of the Albert family that has a Ford Edge, and that's Colin Albert.
Okay. So, Mr. Yannetti, I need that affidavit.
Yeah. So
every single person should have been thrown out of that courtroom.
Absolutely. 100%. This is a courtroom. Nathan Reed yelled, "Wake up." At another point in that hearing, he stared over at Paul. This family behaved like animals in that courtroom. Absolute animals.
I I can't imagine, I'm not trying to dog on Judge Cannoni. I can't imagine what she was thinking there to let that go by, the clapping. I can't imagine any other judge, like Lydia said, I watch trials constantly.
Yeah.
They get so angry. It's their courtroom. It's their courtroom. And they kick them out. I cannot believe she allowed that and never, she should have stopped everything right then and there. Clear the courtroom.
Yeah, in trials we watch all the time. People get kicked out and they are never allowed to return for reacting in a much less dramatic way.
It was like they were at a Patriots game. Like, what are you doing?
It's disgusting. No, I'll dog on Cannoni for that.
Yep. And so this next video is them outside the court. They hold a press conference. What I want you to pay attention to is, remember when David Yannetti said he had a chalk, he had one poster.
Yeah.
The Reed family has several posters. These posters are directly targeting the witnesses.
When Michael Morrissey decides to get up and stand behind his desk and issue a statement that he knows to be false, there's no way to misinterpret. The next thing he says, every one of the witnesses for the government have been forthcoming. They've been forthcoming? Forthcoming means truthful. It means honest. It means transparent. That's what forthcoming means. And these witnesses have been anything but. Not a single witness originally admitted that Colin Albert was ever in that house. No! We had to figure that out. Yes! Nettie and I had to figure that out. Yes!
Unbelievable.
The next thing that you should note, Mr. Morrissey should probably note, is that the Commonwealth is damn well aware that Jennifer McCabe scrubbed her cell phone of nearly every communication with the Alberts on the night and the morning that John was killed. And she intentionally deleted that now famous, infamous 2:27 a.m. Google search of how long it takes to die in the cold. Again, truthful, honest, transparent. These witnesses have been anything but, Mr. Morrissey. So you should watch your statements and read the witness testimony and know the evidence before making statements.
Yes.
And speaking of the authorities, Mr. Morrissey went on to say, quote, Michael Proctor was never at Fairview Road on the day of the injury. Take a look at this. That's an interesting statement. Interesting statement for Mr. Morrissey to make. His official statement of the case that he released to the public, says, quote, later that morning, the Massachusetts State Police Detective Unit of Norfolk District Attorney's Office was notified and responded to the scene. His words, not mine. And in case that left any doubt, he cleared it up with the next sentence. Trooper Michael Proctor, and Sergeant Yuri Buknik were among the troopers who what? Responded to the scene. And now he comes out a year and a half later in a desperate attempt to taint the jury pool and says they never responded to the scene. So I have a question for Mr. Morrison. Are you lying then? Or are you lying now? Finally, he personally vouched for his star witness, Michael Proctor. He said Trooper Proctor has no close personal relationship with any of the parties in the investigation, and that's correct. I got one thing to say to Mr. Morrissey. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Not only is there a close personal relationship, Michael Proctor's own mother, his mama, said the Alberts are a second family to our family. It doesn't get any more close than that. So you may ask yourself, I'm sure a lot of you have been asking yourself, why would the sitting district attorney of Norfolk County decide to make a statement that he knows includes provably false statements, just out and out lies? Why would he do that? The answer is because they don't like, the DA's office doesn't like the story that the evidence is telling. They just don't like it. It's a story of corruption, an inconvenient truth. There's corruption in their little town. There's a cover-up in their midst. And Michael Morrissey doesn't like it and doesn't know what to do with it. So instead of going out and actually finding the culprits who killed John O'Keefe, he decides to hide behind his desk and released a cowardly statement, specifically designed to taint the jury pool, to poison the jury pool, because that's the only way he thinks he can win. He talks about his precious witnesses. He talks about his precious witnesses being inconvenienced. His precious witnesses getting their feelings hurt. He talks about his evidence in his case being capsized by the evidence, and he doesn't like it. So you know what he does? He tells us, he tells you, stop it. His words, stop it. He wants us to quit.
We won't stop! We won't stop! We won't stop! We won't stop! We won't stop!
We won't stop! He wants to issue this statement and give you a threat and give us a threat. He wants us to just shut up and quit. He wants us to quit. Quit with all the evidence. Quit with all the motions. Quit with all the arguments. Just go home and quit. Well, I have something to say directly to Mr. Morrissey right here, right now. So listen up, sir. I'll speak slowly so you understand. Mr. Morrissey, we ain't got no quit. This county will not quit. And I guarantee you, Karen Reed and her family will never, ever quit.
Karen Reed's
I want to thank you so much for your support. And we're not going to leave it.
Unreal, right? I mean, it's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. What?
I mean, I hope you all noticed the person telling Nathan to hold up the posters of Colin Albert and Jen McCabe's, not Jen McCabe's children, was Karen Reed, did y'all see her telling her to get the posters up, get the posters up. It's diabolical. Yeah. It's diabolical.
And the persistence of the not Jen McCabe's children is so infuriating when you look back on how many times that lie was put out into public. And then Ted Daniel in his little pink shirt, craning his neck to get a picture of not Jen McCabe's kids.
And Colin Albert in his football uniform.
Right.
17 years old in the picture.
So I want you guys to think about what they did before court, the way they riled that crowd up.
Yep.
What they did in court, the way they behaved. And now we're going to see what happens afterwards. And so the first thing you're going to see is the crowd chasing Yuri Buchanan.
Sergeant Bukaki, are you trying to arrest me for wiretapping? Why were you talking about me during your whole interview with Lucky Laughlin? What have you done to follow up on the Fort Edge? What have you done? What have you done to follow up on that Fort Edge that Lucky Laughlin told you about? Why did you not interview? Why did you not interview? Why did you not interview?
Why did you not interview Lucky Laughlin? Why did you not interview Lucky Laughlin, sir, until August 10th? After, are you ashamed, sir? I mean, is this why you went to the academy, to cover for punks like Michael Proctor? You're Michael Proctor's bitch. That's all you are, son. You're Michael Proctor's little bitch. You're a fucking pig. You're a disgrace. You're a fucking disgrace. And these two guys here, they know it. They're looking at you right now like, this guy's a fucking joke. I can't believe I have the same uniform as this clown, as this corrupt pig. Look at you. Look at you. You fucking pig. You disgust me. You disgust me. You loser. You loser. You freaking loser. Bukaki. Bukaki loser. Bukaki loser.
see Nick Rocco?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
I did. Little piece of garbage.
They are
And-
such pieces of shit. I don't care any one of you that's watching this or tunes into this at any point who is on that side. You are all insane. You're insane.
And
Watch
Buchanan is a Marine
I know.
who would fight for Nick Rocco's right to exist as an American. He is such a piece of shit.
He's such a piece of shit. Yeah. He is a piece of shit. You see Richie? Richie was there.
I sure did.
Yeah. And Nick was always attacking Colin Albert.
Oh, did you see him with the sign? Guess what? Colin Albert was in the house.
Colin Albert was in the house. He and his mother accosted people inside of D&E.
And he has children.
Yeah.
He has children.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. And so the next video is Carl again. You know, they can't stop abusing Carl. So it's Carl and Jackie.
Jackie Smith. You're a douchebag! You're a lousy detective!
Oh boy.
Shameful.
It's gonna be good.
Yes, Carl Dougal, he's a disgrace. He's a disgrace to the Boston Police Department. He's a disgrace. He made the personal escort. Look at him. Look at him. Look at that coward. He had a lot to say to Karen Reed. He had a lot to say to her on May 24th. Not so much to say now, huh, Carl? Not so much to say now, do you? There's Carl Dougal. He is a disgrace to the Boston Police Department. Carl is well aware that Karen Reed did not kill it. But Carl's feelings got hurt. Carl's feelings got hurt because Karen didn't call him back while he was experiencing trauma. Is that true, Carl? Are your feelings still hurt? Carl, can I ask you something? Why did you keep your car at Karen Reed's house for 6 months after Charlie was killed? Why did you do that? So you were using her, right? She was useful to you, wasn't she? She was useful to you. After she was charged with murder that you know she didn't commit, you allowed your car to sit in storage at the house for the next 6 months. Why did you do that, Carl? Why didn't you go and get your car? Carl, is it true that you got John's car painted after Karen Reed backed into it? Is that true, Carl? Are you part of the cover-up, Carl? Can we apologize for this scumbag coming by? This guy's a horrible person. He's horrible. He's horrible. His wife is just as bad. Her name is Jackie Dougal. She calls herself Hit Mom. She had a lot to say to Karen Reed. She's a mean girl. She's a bully. She's a bully. She's a bad person. She's a disgrace. And Carl is a glutton for punishment. Look at him. Carl, why didn't you wear your assless chaps today? Any comment on those? Stop. On the assless chaps? No? Look at what a scum. What a loser. What a loser. Loser. What a loser. Disgraceful, Carl. You're a goddamn disgrace to the Boston Police Department. You bring shame to John O'Keefe. John O'Keefe is looking down from heaven at you and shaking his head. He is shaking his head. John deserves a better friend than you. Here's his old man card. Here's the old man card. There he is. Oh, Carl. Disgrace. 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 He's a disgrace. Look at him. He's a disgrace. And shame to the Boston Police Department. What a loser. What a loser. Loser. What a loser. A lot to say. Not so much to say now. Why do you do this to yourself, Carl? Why do you do this to yourself? Are you a glutton for punishment, Carl? It's going to be like this. Oh, she's taping us. She's taping us. I love when she does that. Boo! Loser! Loser!
They're savages. I mean, that is. I don't even.
All they are missing is pitchforks. I'm surprised they didn't have them, actually. I've never seen, I mean, that's obviously why Jen McCabe and couldn't go to the, I mean, could you imagine what they would have done to her? I mean,
Oh God.
I think that, you know, obviously she was worried. I mean, her family was worried, and you know, for her safety. I can't even imagine what they would have done to her. I mean, that's John's best friend. Imagine what they would have done to Jen McCabe walking out the courthouse. I mean, we see you, Carol.
I saw Carol.
We see you, Tracy Murray. We see you, Nick Rocco. We see you,
Kristen
Mike
Anderson.
Kristen Anderson, Dina, all of you. We see you.
Yeah, we see you.
Mm-hmm.
And did you see that creepy advance man? So they had one guy out in front, like flanking. So he was out in front of the MSP, guiding the other, you know, the other protesters and making sure that he got there first, you know, before Carol could harass witnesses. Little hippie, you know, loves everybody. Carol.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Screaming in Carl Dugall's face.
Right.
Yep. Yep. And so this next video that you're going to see happens this day, right? So they riled up this crowd with their pre-court speeches. Yep. They riled up the crowd inside the courthouse. They left the courthouse. They had a press conference, attacked the witnesses, followed people to their cars, attacked people. Someone who was there leaves the courthouse and decides to go to Jen McCabe's. And so this is Aiden later in his recap show talking about what happens to Jen McCabe after the court hearing.
So Jen McCabe didn't go to court, right? Because rightfully so, we have shamed her into no longer going to court. But a turtle rider, I don't know if this was yesterday or when, but a turtle rider went to her house, which, by the way, 100% fair game. Enough of this, like, oh, be nice to them. You shouldn't go to their house. No, you should. You should. You should be peaceful about it. Don't threaten. You have a right to do that. And these people, every day they're free is a disgrace. And in case you were inclined to feel bad for this woman, just understand that this is how she reacts. I love how she brings out the cell phone and starts taping them. Like, what are you going to do with that video? Watch this.
How do you? Wow.
You guys are being taken for a fool.
That's terrible.
We're being taken for a fool. Tell us how.
How? How do you? How?
I feel bad.
Oh, here we go. You should. You should. Terrible. What a terrible life.
You guys are being taken for a fool. I feel bad. That's how the snotty fucking, you know, girl from high school talks. You guys are being taken for a fool. I feel bad. Oh, she feels bad for you, bitch. Like, she's putting on this front like she's not dead on the inside. Like, she's not freaking the fuck out. Like, she's like they don't know everything she did. No one else in this feels the need to, Chris Albert to an extent, but nobody else feels the need to put up this public facade that everything's fine, everything's normal. Brian Albert's doing the opposite. And then this lady this homely looking lady comes over. I don't know who this one is. Maybe they're letting the the people from the goth table become friends with them. Maybe they're desperate for friends now. I don't know who this woman is, but she tries to get her to stop.
Really? Even if you get off, you get up every day and look in the mirror. How do you do it?
You'll have a great life. You're going to be on this side of the bars. You're going to be on the other side of the bars.
So sad. I feel bad for you. I actually pray for you.
Who's yelling out the window?
What a mess.
Oh, that's no, probably doesn't. She doesn't want to come out either. Just like everybody else. She's like, bye.
Bye. You want to meet for drinks? Okay.
You're still there?
Okay. All right, horse face. Bye-bye.
All right, horse face. She goes, keep sending money to Karen. Like, what a cunt. Like, think of what she's doing to Karen Reed. And to say something like that, keep sending money to Karen. Keep sending money to Karen. Oh, fuck off. Horse face. Okay.
The nerve of Jen McCabe when unhinged women come to her house and start screaming at her out the window. Imagine the nerve of her.
Yep. And so that woman with Jen is her sister, Denise.
Right.
And so she's going to factor in what happens the next day. But the next slide is the person, one of the people in that car that went to Jen's house because Aiden said you should go to their house. They shouldn't be allowed to go in public. They should be ashamed. And then in their safety and in their home, you should go bother them there. And so this is Yvette.
Yep.
There's a picture of her. That's her sign that she had that day. That's Jen in bars. That's Colin in bars. I think that's Brian. I can't really tell. But that's Yvette Milchoni. You can look up her criminal record. These are the people that are coming to these witnesses' homes.
Oh, of course they are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So then Yvette went from the courthouse to Jen's house.
That's exactly what she did.
Mhm.
That's exactly what she did.
That's completely normal, right?
And
They're
so these are
following
the
a trial.
and like Julie just said, these are the kind of people, and it's not just this Yvette woman, all of them that come to their house, all of them have records.
Deranged
All of them.
criminals.
They are deranged Looney Tune criminals.
Yep.
Yep. So that's 9:15. And then at 9:16, we have some things that happen. Karen's not done, right?
Nope.
So Karen is going back to Canton on 9:16. She is taking Elizabeth Little, Alan Jackson, and two producers from ABC 2020, and they're going back to Canton. They are going to Waterfall. They're going to D&E. And Jen's sister that you saw in that video before that is having dinner with her husband when they show up. So you see there's a picture of Karen, Elizabeth Little, two of the producers. Alan had walked into, I think it was the waterfall. So Alan had made his presence known. And you see this car, right? You see this Lexus. It's got this yellow plate on it. And so we have some communications from Karen Reed about this event. Actually, Karen Reed and Carol, who you saw chasing Carl Dougal down the street. And so the next slide is going to be some of those signal messages. And so Karen is saying, Denise and Bob Galvin followed us and filmed us with their phones. Now, I want you to remember, Denise had just witnessed the day prior these people coming to her sister's home. So Denise and Bob had followed them, filmed them, and Denise asked Karen how she sleeps at night, and she told Alan to go back to LA. I don't think those are terrible things for Denise Galvin to have said in that situation. I think I probably would have said much worse. I think it was pretty polite and pretty restrained to have that reaction. And so these next messages, again, this is Carol. So Carol was the woman in the rainbow shirt that was chasing Carl Dougal down the street and screaming in his face with her sign. And her first, I pulled this one out. It's the last one, but I want you to see what this woman says. This is a woman that lives in Canton, and I'll get to what she said at first, but she says, you don't have any moles in there to keep on top of this. Like these are women, like housewives, these regular, normal people that live in Canton, and they're asking about moles. This is bizarre. This is incredibly bizarre. But Carol said, Carol was apparently there, and Carol said a coworker witnessed it. She was there, and apparently Aiden asked her for something because she's on it. She's gonna go get it for Aiden.
Carol's on it.
Yep. And so obviously she's explaining who Denise is. Denise Galvin is Jen's big sister. And so then Carol reports back, it was Chris. So Chris is Chris Albert at his business where he should be, where Karen has decided, she's going to show up. It was Chris and Denise Weeks Galvin. And then Carol, after all this goes on, is off to make a new sign and then stand over the overpass.
Oh, look at you, Carol.
Carol does. And get that imaginary bleach thrown on her on the overpass.
Yeah. And then she had, there's this other message that was in between too, not that I heard of. I'm still trying to reach out to that quote unquote anonymous poster from last night. As she messaged me a while back saying she wishes she was able to be proactive, but her son is friends with the Albert kid. I mean, can you imagine this?
No.
You know, here you are just living your life and you've got these people that you think are friendly towards you, spying on you.
And this just, you know, kind of shows everything. Carol is the people that, you know, he's getting his information from. So
Yep. 100%. So this is one of Colin's friends taking pictures of this. It's unreal. And then here is Karen, and this is going to go from the bottom up. And I want you to remember that Lexus and remember that yellow plate. And so Karen says to Aiden, because we may have borrowed it off the Lexus lot and it's got a bright yellow Rhode Island dealer plate. The manager of the entire auto park where my brother works reads your blogs religiously, but I don't think he's on the justice sites. So so Karen didn't want a picture of that car out.
Right.
Because why? Because Nathan had just helped himself to a car, much like he had helped himself to money years earlier when he worked at a bookstore. So this is what the Reed children do. They just help themselves to things.
And around this time, I remember on Twitter that people were messaging me that he had gotten terminated, I think, from the Rhode Island location. And there were all these messages about, you know, from Karen, who was like, I don't want to stress my brother out. You know, we may have borrowed this car from a dealership to go essentially commit a crime.
Yeah.
And, you know, people kept messaging me that, but I didn't have all this information.
No, we didn't know. We had no idea.
I assumed, you know, I was like, that's a rumor. I don't, you know, I'm not paying attention to that. But looking back at some of that stuff now is wild.
It is.
Yeah. So Karen wanted those pictures off of the Facebook groups, and she did not want Aiden publishing those pictures because the car would have been obvious to Nathan's employer. And so then she says to Aiden about, you know, not publishing these pictures and getting these pictures off of social media. I'll owe you one. I'll give you an additional pic. So, yep. And now we're at September 17th. And you guys saw a little bit of this in our last show, right? We showed you when Karen and her attorney and her private investigator that is not the private investigator that she claims all the time. It was some young woman showed up at Brian Higgins' house. And so this is the message that we found afterwards. This is a signal message. This is a signal message sent to Aiden Carney. This is just after she left Brian Higgins' home. He is a witness in the case. And her message to Aiden is, sorry, in the car with lawyers, stirring shit up again. So the theme of the weekend was to stir shit up. Mm-hmm. It was to be aggressive towards investigators. We saw Mr. Reed pointing at Yuri. It was to be aggressive towards the O'Keefes. We saw Nathan yelling at Paul O'Keefe. It was to be aggressive towards the witnesses. We saw the posters that Nathan was holding. And now Karen is in the car with her attorneys going to the witnesses' homes.
And going to Jen McCabe's home, one of his fans who's doing it for him. And and going to a witness's home who, let's not forget, has a lawyer.
Correct. Yep.
And going to One Meadows.
Correct. So we're going to get to that. So this next slide is from a police report from that day. There was a police report taken. We're just going to show you this excerpt right now. We're going to go over both the police reports from that day. And so Roman is the driver, and Roman says that he picked Karen Allen, a blonde woman who he believed to be Karen's attorney, and another woman who he called a witness. And we know that woman was a private investigator. He picked all 4 occupants up at the Omni Hotel in Boston at 4 p.m. on Saturday, September 18th, 2023, and dropped them all back off at the Omni at 10 p.m. Now, that was not that night. That was Monday night. I don't know what they were doing Monday night. We're going to have to look through the messages and find out what they were doing Monday night.
Do that.
But on Sunday, September 17th, 2023, and that's the day we're talking about here, he picked up all 4 of those people, all 4 occupants again at Omni Hotel in Boston at 7 a.m. So they started quite early Sunday morning. Roman said that when he got into the car, Karen wrote down the address of 1 Meadows Avenue, Canton, for Roman and put it in his GPS. So we think this might be wrong. Roman does not speak English. You're going to find that out when we go through the whole police report, because we know that their first stop was Brian Higgins' homes. So we're going to play this again. This is that private investigator showing up on Brian Higgins' doorstep.
I'm an investigator with the defense team preparing for you. And we were here and just wanted a few minutes to talk to you.
So Brian is not interested in talking to her. And so this next slide, and to prove the time, we've got some time stamps for you guys. So you saw that message from Karen, that stirring shit up message was what, 8:32? I think it was at 8:32. Mm-hmm. So this next slide is some screenshots from the home security. They have times on them. Are you guys frozen? Is Lydia
No,
frozen?
I am so good at being completely still while I get the slides deleted.
Awesome.
That I have fooled you into thinking that I'm frozen, and I am impressed with myself. There we go.
Yep. So you can see when she shows up, it's 8:21 a.m. She's knocking on the door. Remember, we told you guys last week they hid the car. So they hid the car behind a line of trees. This is the car arriving. So that's 8:16 a.m. So that's the car that they're in. So if anybody's, questioning what we're saying, because we said last week, we gave an approximate time. We didn't give you a timestamp. Here it is.
Here you
and
go.
When Karen talks about stirring shit up, she's talking about this right here.
And then she's going to go stir more shit up.
Yep.
And don't forget, they have O'Keefe's have a restraining order on her, so she's not supposed to be anywhere near her.
She is not. And so what I wanted to point out to you guys with this one, this is Brian Higgins' interview. I can't see the date. It's very, very, very early on. But what it says in that paragraph there is that
11th.
Brian is represented by an attorney, right? He's interviewed with his attorney.
Yep.
So this next slide, you're going to see. This next slide is the discovery. This is the discovery that Karen got on 6/10/2022, the day that she was arraigned. And there it is, number 53, a copy of BH interview. So she had known from June 10th of 2022 that Brian Higgins was represented by an attorney. And what I have down here in this corner is Rule 4.2. And it says, in representing a client, a lawyer shall not communicate about the subject of the representation with a person the lawyer knows to be represented by another lawyer. That includes private investigators, right? So if you hire a private investigator, that private investigator cannot contact that witness.
Right. So Alan Jackson should never be allowed to practice in Massachusetts.
Absolutely not. Or in California, if you're asking me. But also, there is a message to Aiden asking, we'll show this later, who it's from and all of that, asking, is there an interview with, this is all around the same time, is there an interview with Brian Higgins? And he says, not one that's publicly available. And he's talking about this.
Yeah. And so this was Alan Jackson and Elizabeth Little in the car. They're well aware of Rule 4.2 that the ABA has the same exact rule. It's the same exact number. This is not, every lawyer knows this. But David Yannetti is ultimately responsible because they are practicing and they are doing these things underneath his license. This is a big deal that they did that.
Which I'm assuming that's why he wasn't invited, right?
Doesn't matter. Right. He's responsible.
But I mean, for them, I'm assuming that's maybe why they didn't invite him.
I do feel like it was deliberate because there is also a lot of radio silence from him during this period.
Yeah.
He's very quiet in the messages during this whole thing. So, I don't know. Coincidence? Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Don't know. And so this next slide is the message she sends next. So she's stirring shit up. And what she asks for from Aiden is Sarah Levinson's address. So now she wants to go to Sarah's house. So she's going to stir some shit up at Sarah's house. She does go to Sarah's house. Sarah is not home. Sarah's mother gives them an earful.
Yep.
And they leave Sarah's house. So now they are on their way to a place that Karen is legally not supposed to be at, which is One Meadows. The restraining order was given to her when she was arraigned in February, way back in February of 2022. It's pretty standard. I think, some people have tried to make it seem like the O'Keefes were being aggressive. The O'Keefes didn't even ask for it, right? They don't have to.
They do it in every case.
Yeah,
I mean,
they do that in every
so
case.
ridiculous. So ridiculous.
You can't go near the victim.
Right.
You can't go
Right.
near their family.
Right.
This is really hard to read, but basically what this says is that they went to One Meadows. They went to One Meadows where Karen had no business being, not just Karen, right? So Karen isn't just going there. Karen went there with her attorneys. She
Right.
went there with Alan Jackson and Elizabeth Little.
Yeah.
So there are actually 2 police reports. I will post these for you guys. We do think that the driver got the sequence wrong.
Right.
And we know that he got the sequence wrong because we have the timestamps from Brian Higgins and we know where they were at. So
Right.
so they had gone to Sandwich first, then they went back to Canton, they went to Sarah's, and then they're seen at One Meadows. And so there's this police report and there's another police report. And then we also have for you pictures of them outside of One Meadows. Yep. And so this text that is on this slide with the pictures of Karen and her attorneys, again, her attorneys are well aware that she has a restraining order, that she has no business being at this house, and yet they go there with her.
I mean, they're sitting right outside.
They are there
What
outside
are
of One
doing?
Meadows,
What are they
taunting
doing?
the O'Keefes. So this is an attorney, 2 attorneys, and an accused murderer taunting the victim's family outside the house. That's what
And
this is.
I just want to interrupt for a second. For any of you fools who think that they have framed this woman, they could have put her in jail for this.
Yep.
This is a bail violation. They did not. Their police report could have been written. It was typical MSP report. It could have been written so much more bashing of her. So it is preposterous when you guys keep screaming that these people are framing this poor woman. They didn't even
Or
rebuke
that these
her bail.
attorneys are amazing because they're not.
Right? No, they're not. They're
No.
outside. That is John O'Keefe's driveway.
Yep.
So, and I really, I have to say, I think that likely Lally and probably, I think it was Fanning and Buchanan. I doubt that they knew Karen's other activities that day.
Of course not.
So if you were to look at that weekend from
Right.
what they did, starting before that hearing up
Yeah.
until this,
None
it
of
takes
us
on a
knew.
But I
completely
feel like
different tone.
that's another thing, right? Like they knew that she went to Sandwich. I mean, who lives in Sandwich? Like if they had put that to,
Right.
I mean,
Right.
and once again, these are the people that they're saying are framing this woman. They didn't even look into that. They were just like, whatever, they got whatever. They could have put her in jail.
Yep.
They could have made this so much worse. I mean,
Yep.
it's ridiculous.
And I
Yep.
also want to say something about the drivers because I know all of you will go watch this. The comment that Karen makes in the interview with Ted Daniels and Alan Jackson, remember the Super Bowl interview or whatever it was? She is very uncomfortable in that interview when the subject of her drivers come up. And she talks about how the police talked to some of her drivers. And my assumption is the reason that they did that was this, because she was violating her bail here, and then this weekend was the weekend that she was stirring shit up. So I'm sure they did talk to her drivers on more than one occasion. and she experiences some extreme trust issues with her drivers as a result in that interview. So go watch that section of the Ted Daniels interview.
Yeah, I'm going to have to watch that again.
And just another thing, that she's, she's collecting money, supposedly poor. I mean, why aren't they driving their own car? Like, what is going on?
Right. Let me go back and read what she says, because on the 21st, now Karen has got a shit stirring hangover, and she's worried about the repercussions from her shit stirring.
Oh, right. She's worried about getting her bail revoked, right?
Yeah.
Wow,
So she
Karen,
sends
worrying
this
about
signal
repercussions.
message that says, or mentally, it was just a massive power move by Lally. He confirmed with lawyers that they are investigating my breaking bail terms. Well, you did. You did. I'm sure he loved that phone call, having Alan beg him not to arrest me. So
and he didn't, did he?
Yeah. He didn't.
Mm-hmm.
They were very gracious towards her. I mean,
the corruption.
It runs deep. It runs deep.
Right.
So deep that they didn't get her on her bail violation. All right.
Yep. And so this next series of signal messages are Karen's other activities that day. And let me just really quick look at the times. So on this first one, we're going to go top to bottom in the left up corner. And so Aiden says something to Karen, and Karen replies, "It's actually true." And then she replies 21 seconds later, "You cannot talk about this at all. It could get blown. The FBI is headed there." So these are more activities on Sunday. And so then she says, "Neighbor has ring of him leaving his house at 2:30 a.m. Please, please, please don't mention this in any way. They wouldn't hand it over to us, so we called the feds." And then she says, "You can't say anything like there may be a fourth member of the Albert family who drives a Ford Edge." And then she says, "I just wouldn't want you posting today, tomorrow, and the feds think we told them and shared it with you." So this is very interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very, very interesting. And so she obviously went somewhere else after she left One Meadows. She's claiming that now, the FBI are her henchmen, and she's sending them into Canton.
Yes.
What's interesting about this, I'll say it afterwards, but there's something very interesting about this. There's another slide that goes along with this.
Did he ever ask her what became of the ring video that someone was leaving their house at 2:30 in the morning?
Yeah. I don't know.
Forget about that.
It's with the carpet, Carrie. Come on.
Okay.
Yep. And
Right.
so he obviously must ask about the ring, and we're up in the left-hand corner, and we're going bottom up. And because she replies, they wouldn't give it to us.
Oh, bummer.
And then she says to him, "Please don't blog about it yet." And now we're down in this little corner over here. And again, we're going bottom up. And Karen says, "No one has seen the footage. Someone told Sean, and that's Sean on the golf, that the event shows it's the Albert's Edge leaving at 2:30 a.m. And she had referenced that in those messages that we just read on that other slide. And she says, "I don't know who that person is." So he obviously asks something. She doesn't know who the person is. And then here we see Sean on the golf.
There he is.
Comes jumping in because he's talking to Karen too. And he says, "Talking right now." And so if you're wondering who it is they're targeting and whose edge this is, we can tell you, because even though Aiden never does blog about this, right? This never makes it into a blog, doesn't talk about it, which is very interesting, isn't it? That he never mentioned it, but he's after the truth, never mentions this. So Aiden, a couple days later, sends to some acquaintance, also got a tip that Kevin Albert, so they're targeting Kevin Albert, that's who it was, Kevin Albert's car in front of Brian's house, and neighbor has ring of video of him leaving at 3 a.m. So after they left One Meadows, then they're targeting Brian Albert's brother, and claiming that the neighbor has ring of Kevin leaving in his Ford Edge at 2:30 in the morning, 3 in the morning, whatever it was. She said 2:30.
Right.
And they tried really, really hard to drag Kevin Albert into
They
this.
did.
If you
They
recall,
really did.
Yeah, they did it with Higgins. They tried to say it was right before it went to trial, the first trial, where it was like, they had a conversation on the phone for 5 minutes or whatever, and they tried to make that into something like, before Higgins testified before the federal grand jury. But so Karen had a very busy shit stirring weekend. And
She did.
yeah. Yeah. And she was doing all of those things, and she was orchestrating all of those things. And that was independent of Aiden Carney. Aiden Carney was doing things on her behalf, but Karen was very
really interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. And the things she was telling him to keep him, kind of like dangling all this stuff, the FBI and, we saw Kevin Alberts, which obviously we all know is a complete lie, out at 3 a.m. And they wouldn't give us the ring video though.
Yeah.
And she also kind of played on his non-existent emotions after that, after the whole, Alan was begging Lally not to arrest me thing.
Yes.
She was like, I was so upset. I was sitting by the window. I just looked out the window the whole time, and please don't mention, because he had said on his live something about her getting arrested.
Yes.
You can't do that.
Yes.
You can't
it's all about her reputation.
Yeah. And she's like, no, that stresses me out too much. You can't say anything like, I almost got arrested. That was a nightmare. And we're all supposed to feel sorry for her. That she had her shit stirring weekend, and it almost got her arrested. And she's still the victim.
Yeah, in her mind. In her mind. And the messages after these days, I think it's the 18th, is when she's stalking Brian and Nicole at their son's
God, those
wedding.
messages are terrible.
And then on the 25th, it's the plates. She's stalking Jen McCabe and Liz Proctor, and she wants somebody set up outside of Proctor's home. I mean, the more that we can dig into this stuff and pull these things together,
it's crazy.
It's insane.
We should do the signal ones. That's a good idea.
Do the signal ones.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So
that was great, Joel.
Yeah. So do you want to play the video from the select board?
It's not in there.
I think, we're 2.5 hours now. We can talk about it next show if we want. If it's not in there, don't worry about it.
We can do that. It's not in the...
okay.
Oh, it's not in there? Okay. Yeah. Y'all know what went on at the select board meeting, and yeah. So without the video, it's we'll do it next show. We'll show the video. We'll talk about it. We'll show the hero, Peter Hennessy.
Peter Hennessy is the hero that 2016.
What a
guy.
Finally someone said it. Finally someone said it.
Peter Hennessy.
Yeah. And then we can talk about Trish. We'll show Trish's video and her non-apology. But yeah, we'll do it next time.
Yeah, but when you think about Trish, think about that speech she gave. Think about the messages she sent. She sent a really hateful, horrible message, and that message was used to hurt the O'Keefe family. It was a really bad thing that she did, and she just
and she went after Wainless, right? And I think one of the funniest things I thought of her absurd speech that she gave after Peter's fantastic speech was, I found it so funny. She mentioned, they can't audit, remember the independent auditors, the 5 Stone Intelligence, who, Free Karen Reed demanded Canton pay all this money for the police to be audited because they were so corrupt and conspiring. And of course, she mentions this in her speech, right? But what she neglected to mention was that they found no corruption, found no conspiracy.
So they spent all that money.
They did.
And nothing happened.
Nothing. And they should have all been happy about that, right? Do you remember? They should have been happy, right? And I remember the picture of all of them, you know, because of course they all went to the meeting to get the results, and they all looked so mad.
Yeah.
They looked so mad that they didn't, you know, and like Julie just said, you know, Trish fed Brian Wainless to Kearney and tried to justify it that, you know, by saying people were,
innocent
voters were looking
business
for
owner.
answers. What'd you say, Lynn?
Just a business owner, just like a random innocent business owner that she just threw under the Karen Reed bus.
Yeah. And then, you know, she said in her little speech that, you know, trying to justify it, they were just looking for answers. But I mean, I don't know, Trish, looking for answers and, you know, participating in felony level witness intimidation are very different things.
They seem
very different things.
They seem different.
Yeah, they seem different. They seem different.
And someone is asking if we could address lawyer, you know. He had made a video yesterday. I think it was yesterday, right, Carrie? Was it yesterday? Yeah, because we couldn't sleep yesterday because of lawyer.
Oh my God. Yeah. Julie and I, we were texting each other literally at like 1 a.m. because he made this claim and we're like, what is going on? I mean, saying that he gave Proctor Proctor gave Colin Albert reports and just this,
and that he was talking to Jen McCabe at 2 a.m.
Yes. And we were like, what is happening? And so her and I were texting each other. We both couldn't sleep because we're like, why is this man saying this?
Yeah. And I mean, I went through everything. I went through everything because I was like, this is insane. So he's saying that Proctor was giving MSP investigative files to Colin Albert. He's saying that there
he was 17 at the time.
Right. That there are texts where Proctor said he wanted to see Karen Reed naked in a jail cell. None of those things appear in anything.
No one wants to see that.
No, nobody wants to see that.
I read it like 3 times. Julie read it a ton of times. Then she put it in search, looked for all those things. And then, of course, the Queen makes a post this morning.
Yeah.
Right. I slept through all of this. And then I woke up and Julie had already solved it.
She did. She solved it. And then he had a backtrack, and he backtracked just like Trish Boyden, right?
Of course he did.
Right.
Just like Trish Boyden.
Yeah. He's like, America.
This is America. And what are you talking about?
But he had a paid promotion on his post.
He did.
So.
He did. Yep. But it wasn't that, it wasn't the first time that Peter did that. So the last time he did it was on Megyn Kelly's show. And he claimed that there was a group text that existed between the witnesses where they said they were going to pin it on the girl. That never happened. He took a line from Alan Jackson that Alan Jackson said in his closing, and he completely twisted it.
Yep.
And told her audience that the witnesses said that.
I'm
so
so mad.
Not the first time.
I'm so mad she hasn't corrected that. I'm so
He was so Twitter pated by her. He was like a 14-year-old child. Like, oh my gosh, this lady's talking to me. And she did nothing to vet anything he said.
No, I couldn't believe the things.
Shame on you, Megyn Kelly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Really, really bad.
It was and he never corrected it either, that he said that. He said he never corrected it. So
still hasn't.
No.
Nope. That one he has let stand, and it's defamatory. It's a smear against the witnesses.
It is. The only people who have ever said pin it on the girl are David Giannetti and Alan Jackson.
Yeah.
That's it.
It was just them.
That's it.
Yep. They made it up.
Imagine a paid promotion for your defamatory information.
So wait, the post that he made about the
post from last night was included a paid promotion.
Yeah. So he had advertisers on that. Yeah.
And we don't know who the advertisers are, but I would just point out that getting paid to put out defamatory information is probably not a good life choice.
And then, all of the Free Karen Reed freaks, like 3 of them reposted it. All of them had 90,000 views. It's infuriating.
But I do want to thank them because they tagged us, and they are the heroes.
They are
the heroes. I would not have known. I do not watch Peter Trago, so I would not have known.
That's why her and I saw it late last night. And we're both like, why?
Yeah.
I'm on the morning shift, so these ladies solve everything overnight, and I just get up and
Julie is never up. She is never up that late. She is never up that late. I could not believe when she was texting me.
No, but I think what really upset me about it was, once again, we're going to go after Colin.
Right.
We're going to go after Kit. Once again, we're going to do this.
Colin.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, you're right. It was
not letting that happen.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
All right. Well, this was great, you guys. Such a
Yeah,
great
I need to sleep.
Sorry for the technical difficulties.
No, Lydia, you did awesome. You did great.
You did great. We love you.
Yeah, you did great. We got it together.
Yeah, we did. We figured it out.
Teamwork.
Yay.
I didn't do anything. I just
Yes, you did.
I just
moral support.
Yes. Yes.
You know. Just
all
here.
right. Well,
all right.
Good night.
Well, good night, guys. Have a good night.
Good night, guys. Have a great night. Thanks for hanging.
See you soon.